Hey everybody, you're back on the Joey Ciccone Show, Connected, World Center of Broadcast Media. My guest today, the one and only Tony Nap. His papa was Jimmy Nap. That's all I want to say, okay? If you need to Google it, but I don't think you need to Google it. Tony, I don't want to keep you waiting. We want to talk about, you found out Daddy was connected. He was, you were in the bathroom, you were saying, and you found out stuff that, hey man, this guy is very well respected. In fact, did Capone have him do some work, or how did that work out? If you can explain it to the fans and friends out there.
What was the question again?
Okay, I'm sorry. When Daddy was coming up and everything, was he contacted by Capone, or did he have a contract out with Elliot Ness to take care of that situation?
When he was up and coming, you mean? When he was about 17, 18 years old.
Wow, he was very young at the time, and he was asked to do what?
I can't understand you that good.
All right, you can't hear too good. The question was he asked to put a hit on Elliot Ness, your dad?
No, let me tell you.
Go ahead.
This story is directly from the FBI, and it's in the FBI files here in New York. And also, Elliot Ness himself published a book in 1957, his autobiography.
Okay.
And he tells the story about Jimmy Knapp from Williamsburg, Brooklyn. And he called my father a torpedo. What happened was, my father used to drive the bootleg trucks from New York to Chicago. When they were 17, 18 years old in those days, they were mature. They were already earning a living since they're 15 years old, helped the family out, because my father came from a family of 8 children. He was the youngest.
Right.
And he didn't want to be a bricklayer like his father. He wanted to get dressed up with a suit and tie and stand on the street corners and watch like he used to see some of the main guys doing in those days. They would be collecting money from people walking by. They were getting paying off. So anyway, he started driving the bootleg trucks to Chicago from Frankie Yale to Al Capone. And when my father got to, and that was in about 1928,
right.
Frankie Yale got whacked out in 1928.
Okay.
It was about that year when my father was sent to see Al Capone and drive a truckload of booze out there to Chicago from New York. But Frankie Yale was one of the biggest bootleggers in Coney Island area here in Brooklyn.
Of course.
And he had 18,000 people at his funeral, Frankie Yale, when he died.
Right.
When he died. So now my father drove the truck to Chicago, and Frankie Yale gave him a message. He has to see the boss up there with Al Capone. And when my father delivered the goods to the warehouse in Chicago, in Cicero, Chicago.
You better believe it. I know it well.
One of the platform men said the boss wanted to see you. The boss was considered to be Al Capone. So my father went in the back room to see him, and Al Capone was there with Frank Nitti and Tony Ocado, and who else was on his team there. And there was talk about putting a hit on Elliot Ness because he was untouchable, and he had a crew of 6 or 7 guys that kept busting up all of Capone's warehouses,
right.
You know, with the bootleg booze, beer, and alcohol.
Right.
So Capone got tired of it, and he thought he'd recruit somebody, a hitman from out of Chicago. So, according to the FBI and according to Elliot Ness, the man that they were told that Al Capone gave the kiss of death to deliver to Elliot Ness was Jimmy Nap Napoli. from Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
All right, so
That's not from my father telling me anything. No, that's what I read about, and that's what it was on the Untouchable show years ago. When
Of
the
course.
Untouchable show with Elliot Ness, with Robert Stack played Elliot Ness, and they had a segment on there, and I was sitting next to my father when that segment came on the TV. It was a Thursday. It was every Thursday night. It was called The Untouchables, and they mentioned Jimmy Napoli had to give the kiss of death to Elliot Ness and whack him out.
right. But listen, I spent.
And that's what. And I'm sitting next to my own father, listening to this, you know. And he doesn't say a word. Nobody else in the household said a word. And he just got up and moved to another room there to sit down, and we were all watching the show. But we were brought up not to ask him any questions. If he's on the front page of the newspapers, or even if he was inside the newspapers, not to question him and say you were in the newspapers, Dad. My mother schooled us. Don't ever ask your father any questions. If you see his picture, or write up about him in the newspapers. So we were brought up that way. We didn't ask any questions.
Exactly.
And he was sitting there watching this here show, and it's telling you about the torpedo from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, Jimmy Knapp.
Right, and let me get.
And then Elliot Ness says in his autobiography that the attempted assassination of him was performed by Jimmy Knapp from Williamsburg, Brooklyn.
Right, but
So
let me.
that's just how the story goes.
Let me.
Now, accordingly,
Okay.
that the assassination plot was not a success, but
There
one
you
of
go.
Elliot Ness's men jumped on top of Elliot Ness when the so-called shooter was shooting. And when they were both sitting in a car, Elliot Ness and one of his lieutenants. And one of the guys jumped on top of Elliot Ness to protect him.
He took the bullet, right?
He got killed. That
Right.
guy got killed. That agent got killed.
Right. So
So
that.
what happened was they find this Jimmy Knapp
Hey,
in a
Carmelo.
clubhouse in Chicago waiting to get out of town. And by doing that, they arrest him and they throw him in the clink because there's an old timer who was the doorman at the club there with Al Capone that said he knew who received the kiss of death to deliver to Elliot Ness was the torpedo from Williamsburg, Brooklyn, known as Jimmy Nap Napoli.
All right, Gabby, stop.
18-year-old kid.
All right.
So anyway, that old fella now, in those days they didn't have witness protection program. They kept him incarcerated,
Good.
the old fella,
Let him go.
overnight in a jail cell to protect him because they needed him as a witness when they go before the judge the next morning. And what happened was that night when Elliot Ness went to the jail
40-39,
cell
okay,
to
yeah.
get the old fella out of the jail cell and bring him to the courtroom, he shook the old man. He was shaking him. The old man, the fella that was the witness against Jimmy Knapp, had a shiver in his stomach and in his chest. A shiver is a shaved spoon done by convicts that work in the machine shop, and they make the spoon curve into a knife, and that's called a shiv. So they made it look like one of the prisoners killed that old fella, and probably Capone paid off one of the guards to do the job and make it look that way. But that's why Jimmy Knapp was able to come back to New York, because they had no evidence against him and no witnesses.
Right. Hey, Tony.
From there
Tony,
on,
we're
and that's,
Tom.
And from there on, hello.
Aspet, I gotta interrupt you. I don't. No disrespect, please. All about love. I gotta take a break. I let you go on there. I wanted to throw some things in there, but you explained it very, very clearly. The bottom line was, he was asked to do the job. Someone else got popped. Dad went back to New York. We're on segment 2. We're going to take a break now. You're watching the Joey Ciccone Show Connected, live from Las Vegas. Tony Nap Napoli. The bottom line is this. The stories go on. I got to have him like 10 shows. He's going to be in L.A. in September, we're going to have him on. You're watching the Joey Ciccone Show, Connected, World Center of Broadcast Media. I'll be right back.